Here, the victim is fearful, and the person who is committing the crime, they roam freely.
People don't talk about sexual harassment, and many at times people don't know if they're sexually harassed or not, so definitely awareness is required.
The society needs to be in alert in how they handle the system and how they live within the system.
We can't trust anyone nowadays. We can't trust our friends, our family, our peers.
We are all taking the pledge India is my country, all Indians are my brothers and sisters.
As Gen Z, we should be the voice and we should make the victim feel strong.
Hello and welcome to The Edge. This is one platform where we give you information, news, all about the youngsters, students, aspirants, Gen Z, as to what are the issues bothering them, where their opinion matters, and how it's important to give them a fair hearing, to listen to them and learn from them. We are among students of Delhi University, and we're talking about the issues of alertness, consent, and also misuse of technology and what safeguards are required. To put things into perspective, this week, a young student was taken in by a friend to his apartment where she was allegedly given liquor, she was assaulted, and she was filmed. She took a lot of time to gather courage, but she reported the incident. The police is acting on that and trying to nab the accused. How alarming are incidents such as this, and what can be the safeguards in terms of alertness? Let's start our discussion with these brilliant young minds behind me.
It's a horrific incident for sure. But to tell you the truth, people have been desensitized to things like this because they do happen quite frequently. I mean, it's not an anomaly. We all know what happened in 2012 in this city and what happened afterwards. There were mass protests, but nothing changed, right? Things have been happening ever since, and things will happen. That's the truth of it. And it's rather very easy to blame things like technology, but the truth is that technology is not to blame. Technology has changed throughout the decades, throughout the years. There has never been a point in history where technology has not developed, right? So what is to blame if not technology? If and I also, in my personal point of view, I don't think it's people are being westernized and that's why all of this is happening, because let's face it, this has been happening since forever. It's not that it's happening now, it's just that you know about it, right? When the RG car rape case happened, there was shock that a case like this has happened, but also it happened to a doctor, it happened to an educated person. I mean, that was the shock behind it. The truth of it is that power exists in a lot of different ways. It exists not just in the context of gender, where okay, men do this to women. It also exists in the in the context of caste.
So, we have a very important opening comments from one of the students here. Prevention of crime is more important than just the punishment. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I do believe I agree with what she has said. Apart from that, we should have like more the result are basically the judiciary which is there are no consequences that the rapists have to go through, and there need to be like more serious ways by which we should deal with it and not just let it be.
Right, right. So let me go over there. That's a fantastic debate that we have started off. Again, like I would like to once again rewind and ask. So, what is the first reaction when something like this happened? And especially, it's also a matter of trust, of consent.
So, I would just like to start with the fact that in our society, the sense of fear, it is flipped. Here, the victim is fearful, and the person who is committing the crime, they roam freely. They are not even afraid of the systems, as she said. Judiciary, of course, we are known as India's judiciary is called the temple of judiciary. But considering what happens in our country, the real fate and the state of this country is that we are afraid, and that is something that just is so wrong. And as Gen Z, I feel we should be the voice and we should make the victim feel strong, feel empowered, and the person who is committing the crime feel fearful, because that is how things should go about.
What is that you would want to see so as to make victim more empowered? We have often heard this that it's victim who is at the crossroads of seeking justice, filing complaint. You know, we all go to these seminars and talks in which there is often this agreement or consensus, fine, we have to raise a voice, but that sometimes comes with a cost. Here.
Yeah, just now you mentioned that what is that you want to see in order to see, in order to make people believe who are the victims to believe that yes, there can be something done if they raise their voices against these kind of things. So one thing that you mentioned, that technology and all these things, we see that Delhi police and Mumbai police these days are very much active on Insta and posting posts regarding the safety of people on roads and everything. Maybe when you post something about these kind of things, that can be a point of starting of like making people believe, ensure, making women ensure that yes, if there's something wrong in the society, then we are here to just put that and highlight that. And social media today has a very mass influence in people. And more than that, if you say that yes, we are actively working on these kind of things, so maybe you can post things, post your successful event like successful doings on that cases, maybe, so that can maybe help a lot, maybe bring the confidence within that particular person who has gone through these things, and encourage them to raise voice over these things and come out confidentially, with confidence that yes, they are not wrong at this point of time, and they can raise the voice against that person, which will make people and him realize that yes, the wrong is on the other side and not within them.
People don't talk about sexual harassment, and many a times people don't know if they're sexually harassed or not. So definitely awareness is required. If people go out and report this to their families, they are faced with मतलब दो टाइप के व्यूज़ हो सकते हैं. First, your family will support you, they will report it. Secondly, they'd be like, koi nahi, hota hai. And they are majorly scared of the long hours that they might have to spend, like court mein laga diya, police ke paas jana hai. So they are like intimidated by the power. So I feel like if if the people in power and the authority figures become more approachable and they like come out, like on social media, as he had mentioned, that is definitely a good step. So if the people in power, they go out and become more friendly with people, and मतलब वो दिखाएं कि हाँ हम आपके लिए हैं available, आप problems लेके आइए, हम solve करेंगे. इससे I feel like reporting जो है that will definitely increase, and that would definitely help.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yo, once, let me just go over there. Yeah, yeah. And backbenchers, please. I'm coming to you guys as well. Right. Yeah, please.
So what I would like to add on to this are like law. Law is very procrastinating the things. Like if there is a rape case today, the result will come out after the 10 years, which is not a right thing. They should be given justice then and there because rape is wrong, totally wrong. It shouldn't be procrastinated. And it's all the corruption that is happening in the bureaucracy. They are getting the bails and the everything that shouldn't happen.
See, I totally understand where it's coming from. That whenever we are seeking the instant justice, fatafat ho faisla. We are a civilized society. So over there is a process. I know process can be uh, questioning. Process can be very gruesome sometimes. It can be extremely grueling. लेकिन वो उसके थ्रू जाना चाहिए हम लोगों को. I don't think so that we have come to a point where person to person power or the kangaroo courts should rule the roost. I mean, but that is my opinion. हो सकता है कि मेरी बात से शायद they may be like a different. Yeah, please. Okay.
I think that the process should be there, but it should not be this, like 8 to 10 years long. Maximum to maximum for an horrendous crime like rape, the process should be 8 months to 1 year max to max, because by the time the process is going on, the person who has done the crime, he is open. He can do many such crimes and he'll be open in the fields. Like, it is very scary to think about as a girl myself, that someone who did something like that 10 years before is open in the fields right now just because the process is going on from last 10 years. So yeah.
The girl should be allowed, I would agree. But what if the boys should also be allowed, that the girl walking near to him is his sister? He should think like, we are all taking the pledge. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. So even if he can't consider the girl as his sister, then why should he take the pledge? Why should he yell out, India is my country and all Indians are my brothers and sisters? Why should he yell out? India is a democratic country. Then why should he yell out? This is my question.
I think, yeah, you're very valid in saying that alertness is required, and people should be alert. And when I say this, I mean system should be alert. You know, the people who assault, they should be alert. The system needs to change. It's not a girl who is going out needs to be alert. I mean, it is a victim needs to be empowered when the system makes them feel empowered in a way. Victims will speak, the survivors are trying to speak, but the system is trampling them, harassing them on a daily basis. The case in RGNLU that came up, why couldn't the victim, why wasn't there justice served to them? Why did they have to resort to Instagram and then share their story? It's because the victim went out and they were harassed. They filed a complaint in ICC in their own college, within their own law professors, in a very safe community. As people like to say, that college is a safe space, a safe community. Your own professors are a safe space, safe community. The victim went there and the victim was harassed. Uh, their character was assassinated. She was made to feel as if it was her fault. So when you talk about alertness, victim needs to be alert in who they talk to and how they dress. I don't think that needs to be done. I think the society needs to be in alert in how they handle the system and how they live within the system. I think the system needs to be alert in a way that it needs to reform itself. It needs to, dismantle this patriarchal hegemonic structure that it has uphold, that people need to act a certain way, a victim needs to act a certain way, a girl needs to act a certain way, gendered minorities need to act a certain way. On a daily basis, there are queer people out there, gendered minorities, as it was mentioned that Dalit and Adivasi people are harassed on a daily basis, but it is not reported. Where is the media channel then? Where is the police then? Where is the judiciary present then? I think it is the system of judiciary, police, media, everyone is involved, and they need to be alert in how they act.
आप अपने बहू बेटियों को कितने भी लॉक करके घर में रख लीजिए, ठीक है, कितने भी लॉक लगा दीजिए, कितने भी बड़े कपड़े पहना दीजिए, आप उन्हें नहीं बचा सकते, क्योंकि फैक्ट ये है, मोस्ट केसेस ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एंड सेक्सुअल असॉल्ट हैपन इन द होम इटसेल्फ, with people that live in the house with the person, right? So where are you safe? So how many precautions will you take? How will you live? कहाँ पे अपने आप को बंद करके रखोगे ताकि ये सब ना हो?
Is it a larger question of trust deficit that we're looking at? It's not just about putting onus on a particular section or a particular gender, but it's a larger question of trust deficit. Is it so? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think the question of the trust deficit, things like this are not just bad for women, they're bad for men as well. I'll give you an example. तो मैं एक बार मेट्रो में जा रही थी and a man was sitting in a seat and very kindly he gave me his seat, right? And my father was standing there and he was like, why didn't you say thank you to him? Because when you say something to a man, you don't know how it's going to be taken. Okay, so you're not polite to men because you don't know how it's going to be taken because you're alert and you care about your safety. So this is sort of it's making us worse people. Patriarchy makes you a worse person. So I think that is where the question of trust comes in, because how do you expect women to trust men in a society where women are constantly at risk?
Yeah, I would like to have some more voice. Thank you for that. Yeah. Please. Okay. Then you can pass on the mic.
It's bad for men also because according to the society, men don't get harassed, but they do in real life. They do in reality. In real life, men do get harassed, and when they share the story, they become pieces of humor. They become pieces of mock culture, which is not a good thing. Patriarchy affects men the same way it affects women, and which is why I think there should be more awareness about consent in general. Not just it's not just a women's issue, it's more of a societal issue.
Education is the only weapon in India that can bring a massive comeback. They can use abuse you anytime, anywhere in the metro station. Some instances happened with my friend was while she was traveling in a metro, someone grabbed her from the behind and then the person vanished. So it's like there should be more cameras, there should be more security in the places that we live. So yeah, there should be more literacy, and women should be taught. They should be educated more in the village, urban, everywhere. So is with the man, cause man patriarchal is somewhere affecting the mental strength, mental health, cause they are told they can't cry, they can't show their emotions. So yeah, it is affecting both of them in a negative or a positive way. I don't know.
हम किसको ट्रस्ट करें अभी? एज यू मैंशनड, मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स हैपन इन आवर ओन होम्स. घरों में होता है, या फिर you can't trust that. We are talking about the case which happened recently. He trusted her boyfriend, right?
Right,
But we can't trust anyone nowadays. We can't trust our friends, our family, our peers. There is a sense of हम fear also कि हम किसी को भी ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते. We all have to be constantly alert for द सिचुएशन अराउंड अस. हाँ, मैं यहाँ पे बैठी हूँ तो मुझे चार लोग, चारों तरफ मेरी नज़र होनी चाहिए कि कौन क्या सोच रहा होगा, क्या देख रहा होगा. एज शी मैंशनड अबाउट कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग, वी कैन take compliments very easily, like you're looking beautiful. I don't know in what sense he has said that.
One small thing I would like to add on trust deficit. Yes, she mentioned that within homes these things are happening, and the case that you mentioned that it was both the people were in relationship. Now we'll talk about some cases where horrifying cases where the father himself is, or maybe the male figure or the female figure in the house, but it is most prominently male figures only. So when things are happening within the house, so at this point of time it is the responsibility of the system to, maybe that is what I mentioned, that maybe the Delhi police or the Bombay police should represent that they have taken some corrective actions in order to make this thing right. And so that, for example, I can mention something very good, very good initiative by the government, that behind every NCRT books they provided child helpline. So I myself have witnessed one of the case in my school time, where one of my male friend, he faced some issues within his home, and it was very courageous of him to stand up against that. And yeah, just these things, that when things are happening within the household, there is system should take much more preventive measures in order to help them feel that yes, there are people around them to listen them and take actions on these things.
Right. That's a valid point. Now, before we wrap up, so there is a usual dichotomy that we are seeing, or rather, it's a little more ironic. We look to technology for safeguards, for safety, but at the same time, we're seeing that technology is abused, misused, and it has become a factor in terms of the quantum of crime. How difficult is that, or how important it becomes so as to measure technology, or you think that technology has somewhat failed in terms of its larger canvas?
I think there are good and bad sides to everything. There's a gray area, right, where you need to look at it. You can't judge anything in a very black or a very white scenario scale. Of course, technology has its drawbacks, but again, the question of alertness, which I think that is coming up here, that people need to be alert in how they use technology. I think obviously there should be safeguards in how people use social media and how it is exploited in certain sense. But it's also about that there's a certain sense of surveillance and control that's coming in, right? In how social media is being used. Not only to abuse people, but also to surveil people, right, at all times. And so I think in that sense, for the privacy of everyone, I think there needs to be some safeguard measure. But then again, it comes that who is controlling all of this, like who owns social media, who is controlling these forums, right, these platforms. I think that's a larger debate where certain things are out of my hands as a student, where I am at the, where I'm using social media, but then I do not have actually any power over it, because whatever I put out there, whoever controls social media. So there are certain things that need to be done, but then again, it's a systemic issue that we are talking about.
That's an excellent point. Excellent point that we are using social media, but sometimes we're the crossroads. We don't have a complete control over it. Social media का इस्तेमाल होता है, but who's owning it? कहाँ safeguard है, क्या plugin है, इस बारे में हम लोगों को बहुत कम पता होता है. And sometimes when we raise a complaint, so it just goes to a mailbox. उसका reply कब आएगा? We don't even know. Yes.
I would like to say that any platform, it is an amalgamation of conflict and coexistence. For, let's take an example. If we have to see how are usually rape cases reported, it's not our media, definitely. It is usually through Instagram, and so is how people feel marginalized, or how people feel victimized. Their videos are being uploaded on Insta only. So, my point is, it is up to you how you use technology, and more than that, it is the mentality that reflects. Technology is only a catalyst to what has been practiced since centuries.
Like on social media, dark romance books which are showing that non-consent is okay, they are romanticizing it, which shouldn't happen. It is all about the perception that we are creating. It's all the environmental factors that is leading much more bigger impact into these kind of stuffs. Like it shouldn't be good to romanticize rape that is happening in the dark romance book or in the movies. So they should stop making such movies, and they should make the movies which create more awareness in the world.
Right. Thank you. So there we have, we had these brilliant students from Delhi University. They had amazing ideas. They had, very important inputs as to how we have to talk about the issues of consent, alertness, who's responsible, where does responsibility rest, and what the role of authorities in this. In our next episode, we'll bring you an equally relevant topic among the Gen Zs. What do they have to say? And remember, what is that we can learn from them? See you very soon. Me and my camera person colleague Sushil Kumar signs off from here. Thank you and keep watching The Edge.